God, please help the poor. I've heard this prayer prayed so many times. We pray that God would reach out to the poor. But if we're still long enough, I think we'll hear God saying the exact same thing to us, saying, Rob, help the poor. John, Mary, help the poor. He loves the poor, and he has asked us to reach out because he associates with the poor. In fact, he tells us that if you reach out to the least one of these, to these poor people, then you're reaching out to me. If you neglect these poor people, then you are neglecting me. Here's an awesome Bible verse from the book of Tobit. Prayer and fasting are good, but better than either is almsgiving, accompanied by righteousness. It is better to give alms than to store up gold, for almsgiving saves one from death and expiates every sin. Those who regularly give alms shall enjoy a full life. The poor can take on many forms. There are those who cannot physically support themselves, cannot find food and nourishment that they need, and we have a responsibility who have this resource to reach out to those. But then there are the poor who are outcast from society, the poor who are poor of freedom, those in prison, and also the poor of those who are suffering and in pain. When it comes to almsgiving, here are a few things to consider. Almsgiving is prayer because it is giving to God. Almsgiving is also fasting. It is a form of sacrifice, of laying down your life, laying down yourself, giving things up until it hurts. It's not about giving from overflow, but it's about giving of yourself. Jesus said that when you give alms, when you give to the poor, when you help those in need and reach out to those who are hurting, not to let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Don't go and show the world how good you are, but do it always for Him, to glorify God and God alone. Almsgiving is a Christian requirement, just as fasting and prayer is. But if you're going to do it regularly, you need to plan. You need to think ahead before you do it. Giving 10% of your income, spending time planning how to do that. You could open a separate bank account or a piggy bank, put some money away that you can give to the poor. Also plan your time, check in your diary, plan ahead how you can help those, research ways in which you can help the poor. If you want to help those in need, it won't happen spontaneously most of the time, particularly if you live in a first world country. Make the effort, plan ahead, and go and reach out. Don't be afraid to give. Even if you feel you cannot afford the time, you cannot afford the money, God will bless you. Put some time and money away to help the poor. I've heard so many stories time and time again of people who have generously given, for example, tithe 10% of their income, and they continue to give even when they couldn't make ends meet. And God has blessed them, and God will continue to bless you. You are storing up treasures in heaven when you give to those who are in need.
Almsgiving is an act of love and trust and generosity towards God and others.
So be generous towards God. Don't hold back. You see, God will always outdo you with generosity. When it comes to helping and reaching out to the poor financially in particular, there are many organizations that demand help, that ask for our help. These organizations are able to go into the places that we physically cannot. One of these organizations that I love to help is Caritas Australia, particularly the Project Compassion. This is an amazing initiative which I will link below, and if you're interested maybe or don't know where to help the poor, This is a great place to start.